What's an unexpectedly well-paid job? I'm a gardener. There's a serious lack of folks willing to do manual labor in the outdoors year-round. Most commercial properties have to maintain a certain amount of green area in our city. Hospitals and other places like that need legitimate crews to do the work with professionalism, no cat-calling or spitting or swearing etc., including bonded employees and good insurance and equipment etc. As a result, we are in demand and we get paid surprisingly well. No university education needed. Low barrier to entry. Great pay and job security. Elevator technicians. Yeah, but the enjoyability of the job goes up and down a lot. Airline dispatcher. A girl I dated many years ago I met because she was living in my town training to be an airline dispatcher. There are just a handful of schools that teach it. I had no idea what an airline dispatcher was, let alone how much money they get paid. Dispatchers at FedEx can make $150,000 per year or more. It also gives you a lot of options to advance at an airline, like being station chief at an airline. The girl I dated had a dream to one day be Air France station chief in Tahiti. I don't know if she made it or not. Train driver for London Underground. Heavily unionized industry, and London's dependency on the network means they've been able to demand an enviable package. High base pay, high overtime rates, and travel passes for the family. I fix hospital beds. Will be making $100K within my first 2 years with full benefits. I also have full control over my hours. How did you get into this? Sneak into hospitals and break some beds. The year I got out of high school I picked up a job at a private country club working the bag room. When I spotted a member I'd grab their reserved private cart from the garage and load the clubs on it that they kept stored in the bag room. Couple damp towels hung on the back, pencils, scorecards and everything waiting by the time they stepped up. Place was primarily executives and whatnot for like the major automotive companies here in Michigan. I made a couple hundred each day in tips. During a couple tournaments that took place I went home with around $500 in my pocket. I took home so much each day that I kept forgetting to pick up my paycheck, which was something like another $400 each week, late 90s minimum wage. Only part of the job I hated was using the picker to get the balls off the range. There was always some assbag trying to use me for target practice. Document specialist for utilities. Basically you have to know someone to get into it. But I went from making $40K as an office admin to $120K as a doc specialist. No college requirement. Often people just get their spouses or siblings on because they've worked in an office before. As a general rule, this is terrible for anyone who actually knows what they're doing in the job, but, like, whatever. A lot of times I'm just getting paid to hold down a desk. Power linemen make bank. Not a lot of people even know about it. Insanely dangerous job though. 2 linemen died in our small town because some family didn't shut their breaker off when they hooked up their generator while they were working on it. Electricity is terrifying, and sometimes even the smallest things missed can have major consequences. The HVAC dude who used to come to my work to clean our furnaces made 6 figures and retired at 40. Now he lives in Mexico and teaches people to scuba dive. I don't know if surprising, but one people don't think about. Selling ad space on local broadcast stations. I do it and make more than most families do in my area, and I'm at smaller market. Going into a medium one can put you well into 6 figures. YouTubers who just copy Reddit posts into a voice thing and then upload it with the text on the background. This thread will probably get reviewed by one of them and this comment will be subsequently skipped. I hope not. I would love for it to be in a video. I work at home as a closed captioner broadcaster for the news. I make my own schedule and make between $35 to $65 per hour depending on the job. Large investment to get started but significantly worth the payout. What qualifications does your job require? Very interesting. You have to go through a course. The course is $800 per month and you work at your own pace. I worked while I did it at my main job, so it took me about 7 months to complete. Most people are between 6 and 9 months though. Between the course and all the equipment it's about a $10,000 investment to start, but very much worth it and you make the investment back quickly. I drive machinery in a coal mine in Australia. I make about $170k. Even our new trainees are paid pretty well, about $48 per hour. I think it ends up being close to 90 to 100k. Easy money for sitting on your ass in an air-conditioned cab. Please tell me how I can get a job like this. Well, first you need to live in Australia. Bartending. Some people know, but the overwhelming majority don't. If I only worked 20 hours, 2 days a week this year weekends, I would make close to $50,000. If I really tried and worked 2 solid jobs 5 days a week, I would easily hit close to, if not over, $100,000. This doesn't apply to every bar or bartender. You're not going to make this type of money at an Applebee's or a super franchised corporate establishment. UPS drivers can make close to 100k if you stay there long enough. Blew me away when I first heard that. My uncle was a UPS driver in Maine for 30 years. He had to quit due to an unrelated injury, but I'm pretty sure he was making high 80k, low 90k before that. Garbage collectors in New York are paid up to $112,000. A solid salary considering you don't even need a degree. Sounds like a nice fallback plan for me. San Francisco Poop Patrol, a 10-person team. All they do is go around the city and clean up human feces, which is apparently a problem there. They make about $80,000 a year, plus pensions and benefits, which bring the total to about $150,000. Not even kidding. Let's go scoop poop. There is a job in my country called chicken sexer. You're paid something like 10k euros permission to touch newborn chicks and determine their sex. The ones near me must be really bad at their job, because they seem to have a 50% success rate when we buy chicks. So we may as well leave it up to chance. New guy. So we gotta feel up these baby chicks to get their gender. Vet. Nah, I just flip a coin. New guy. Won't we get a lot wrong then? Vet. Nobody seems to care. Mobile crane operator. Union guys pull over 200k, and it's a trade that's pretty easy on the body. Operating engineers have a surprisingly high occurrence of back, neck and wrist injuries. They do make a ton of money though. Knees too. Those cabins in large machinery are not made for comfort, although I hear newer ones are a big improvement. Funeral director is a great paying job with not a whole lot of schooling. That's what I do, and I make about $75. Notary clerks. $30 for just signing a document and putting in register. Dog groomer. It's a weird industry, though, and a skill that really has to be learned. Hands-on grooming schools can be a good start, but I know great groomers that never went to school for it, and terrible groomers that spent thousands on classes. Just being good at handling dogs is the best foundation for success. It's not the easiest job in the world. It's largely commission-based, and you're lucky if you get any benefits out of it. But if you get enough practice in to be good at it and build up a loyal clientele base in a decently affluent area, it's good money. The haircuts I do range from $70 to $175, and I'm paid 50%, which averages out to around $30 to $35 an hour most days. Not everyone tips, but those that do usually tip $5 to $20 per dog, and because I do about 40 dogs in an average week, that's an extra couple hundred in my pocket. So if you don't mind working on your feet all day, sustaining repetitive motion injuries, not taking lunch breaks, dealing with insane customers, and picking shit off dog buttholes, it's a good living. Technical writing. If you have the ability to take complex technical information and simplify it according to the reading audience, you can make well over $100,000 annually. People ridicule English degrees until they find out how much can be earned as a technical writer. Underwater welding pays a tremendous amount. The only one I know personally retired comfortably in his 40s. Given how dangerous underwater welding is, I'd say the pay isn't surprising at all. Court reporting. Stenography is a tough skill to learn, but plenty of court reporters earn over $100,000, and no college degree required, although most CRs will need to be certified. Being Mr. Beast's friend. Boiler operator. Get paid $35 per hour to play Skyrim on Switch while watching Netflix. Just have to find one that's all operator and no maintenance. I work as a lunch lady. I get school vacations off, summers off, And weekends. No nights. Or even really afternoons. It's amazing. I also get benefits. And every year I get a raise. So between the money and the time off, the job is 100% worth it. At the right place waitressing. I got tipped $800 waitressing at a bowling alley for a team building company party. I was a bathroom attendant in a fancy restaurant. Made hundreds of dollars a night in cash to do next to nothing. Well, they don't do nothing. Their purpose seems to be to make the bathroom experience half as convenient and 1000% more awkward. And they always succeed. Contractors for household moving companies with 18-wheelers can gross between $200K and $400K a year. Interesting to know how much is profit considering the running costs plus insurance for an 18-wheeler, let alone the cost of an 18-wheeler. If you have a strong stomach, cleaning up death and crime scenes pays very well and requires little education. I have a friend who did this. It definitely paid well, but he talked about some of the things he saw and I don't know if I could do it myself. Optician. I get $30 plus an hour to sell you glasses and contacts.